Yeah, Slitty right now. The gang gon' get it right now. I'm the man in Gap City right now. So you can't do what I done, so tell me what it is right now.
What did you, what's happening, what's bombing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Eyes of Brandon. Welcome back to another episode of the Eyes of Brandon podcast. Shit, I'm with a special guest. How do you even introduce this one, dog? Shit, she's first of all a presenter. I came across like her show that she did with Black Network. I think it was last year when she had Famous Stoner on. That's like one of my personal, producers right there. I saw her also, I think Pula Power, if I'm not mistaken. I think she was a producer there. And then, yeah. And also she's like, are you a model too?
Yeah, I do model.
For sure, for sure. Also, she's also a musician. Most of all, she's like a musician, for sure. And yeah, I'm here with Shishi Motrokhala, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. For sure. How are you?
I'm great.
I'm good. I'm good to see you looking.
Thank you for having me.
For sure. Nah. Thank you. And like it took us a while to actually put this shit together. We actually had a new location today. Shout out to Shasha Convention Center right over in Tlokwe. Like if you want to host your events, birthday parties, weddings, or whatever that has to do with convention centers, please contact them. I'll leave the Facebook page, basically like the link to the Facebook page in like the description, you know what I'm saying? And check them out for your, spaces and like the swimming pool side right on the left side of me. And yeah.
It's like a vibe.
Yeah, no, it is a vibe actually. So yeah, man, thank you for coming through first of all.
You're welcome.
For sure. As like a little icebreaker, I want to ask on behalf of all the homies here. Are you single?
I'm single.
Oh, no, you're single. I know for sure. Yeah, noted.
Yeah.
Like a little icebreaker question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you 3 rappers' name.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to kill, smash, go on and marry.
Kill, smash, marry. Okay.
I have Banti. I have Balatlava Blanco, and I have Vis-a-Vis. Who would you smash?
Balaklava or Ratiam?
Yeah, you cannot tell. Hey, you know him for real, huh?
Sorry, no, not like that. But I know people who know him like that.
For sure.
How do we
Who would you smash? Who would you marry? And who would you kill?
I always see people getting us these questions and I just think it's so hilarious. Now I'm just like, okay, I'll marry Visa because I know him personally. He's a friend. We'd have a good friendship. He's a dope guy. I can't smash Banti. It just won't make sense. Like he was in high school or something. It won't make sense. So yeah, the other guy fits. Yeah, no, I would type it. But yeah. So the kid's gotta go. The other one will fit where he fits, and then I'll marry the third one.
The third one being?
I'll marry Vizo, smash.
Smash Blanco.
Yeah, and then
kill Banti.
Yeah, unfortunately, because I'm not trying to be a pedophile like that.
Okay, the last icebreaker question. Noted. And then like the last icebreaker question being, in Botswana, if you're to be a pet to any celebrity, who would that be?
A pet?
So like any celebrity in Botswana.
A pet to any celebrity?
Yeah.
Ooh, shit, you're gonna get me in trouble. Because I'm trying to also like read, I'm trying to understand your description of celebrity. I might be comfortable as a pet Yeah, like what is celebrity? Because to me,
okay, like celebrity in your terms.
hey, I don't know. Can't I be a pet to like just an influential person of choice?
Isn't that a celebrity?
Okay, yeah, I can be a pet to Lesang Mahang. And just be a pet, just like a fluffy little jack or something like that.
Who is Lisa? Who's
Lesang
that?
Mahang is the owner of Pakalani. You guys don't know the people who own the neighborhoods you live in?
I don't live in Gulf State, so I got no business knowing the place.
It's Hasuri Kisipiru until
For real?
Hey, Hasuri
What again,
Kisipiru.
man?
The Mahang's owned Pakalane and then it was sold to...
Lesang Mahang.
Yeah, so Lesang Mahang is the one who has.
Like what? Why?
Yeah, I think he's
besides,
this- Yeah, I can wear a pet. So, Kizura Hawanatara could go. Hey.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Alright. Okay. Moving on to the first question of the interview, right? Done with the ice breaking. There were some funny questions, by the way. But yeah. First of all, yo, dog. When I looked into like your profile, I noticed how diverse your portfolio was. You know, like you do so many different things. Like that is why I was having kind of like a hard time introducing you actually.
Yeah.
But also that's kind of like one interesting thing about you. You know what I mean? Like you do like a lot of things and that's not somebody that could like it's not something that literally somebody could just wake up and be like, nah, for sure. Like I'm gonna wake up and be a model and be a musician and be a presenter and be a teacher. Like she teaches, by the way. You know what I mean? So basically I want to understand why that diverse, resume, why choose to do like a lot of things, why not pursue music, why not only or pursue presenting only? Yeah.
I think it just speaks to having different talents.
Sure.
Having different talents and different interests, and a teachable spirit will bring out potential in you that you didn't necessarily think you had. I've always appreciated watching shows and seeing presenters growing up. I do remember at one point, they had a pink-a-thon, like you pretended to be a presenter, but I never took it to heart and I never actually made, conceited effort to literally just be like, okay, I'm going to constantly, like I knew
like persistent, but
I would go to like, those auditions for presenters if they were there.
Where was that?
That, I did a lot of that when I was in SA,
okay.
But for the most part in Botswana, I like opportunity to represent it's not something that I was like, oh, Lord, I'm looking for this opportunity. I want it so bad and like trying my best. I was just trying to network and learn as much as possible. I think so. That speaks to the presenter part. Presenting is just something that kind of just fell into my arms.
Yeah.
I think growing up, why are they where they are? There's no way that they can give you a fully fleshed answer without looking back to your upbringing. Everything we are as young adults in our 20s going into our 30s is a reflection of our upbringing, and what we choose to keep and what we choose to let go of is what we take into our 30s going forward. For me, it was always little things that I grew up to develop. I had an interest for fashion. I was a very athletic, sporty type of person. I enjoyed participating in sports, so I was always active. I did a lot of debate club in school, so speaking in public was always something that I found myself. It just came naturally because I had already developed that skill. Yeah. So I think that's the teaching part, I think teaching for me is more of a generational blessing. My grandmother is a teacher. My dad at one point was a teacher. We've got cousins, aunts who are teachers. So for me, teaching, I think, I know you can be a teacher. You are never too old to learn and you're never too young to teach, because there's always somebody younger than you who can learn from whatever you know. Whether you are teaching them from your mistake or you're teaching them from your triumph, there's always someone who can learn something from what you have to say. So I think that's what gave me the courage to go into the whole guidance, counseling, teaching thing, which I did voluntarily. But music is also something. Music, I grew up in a spacious house, 2 big radios. Sundays are jazz, Fridays are hip hop. So we did the thing. I grew up around a lot of music. Your Hugh Masekela, Brenda Fassie, African jazz pioneer. A lot of Tupac from my brother's influence. Your that Irv Gotti Murder Inc. wave. I was there. I'm a classical 90s kid. The Tamia era, Monica, all of that. So that's what built my confidence in vocals. Mariah Carey when she was still swinging.
You
know,
what's the name of that song?
My baby.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and music. Yeah, it's right. Where did all of the talents come from? I think each stemmed from its own seed, a seed that's been sown a long time ago. Yeah, because at this point you're kind of just manifesting whatever.
Like I heard you talk about, like your upbringing a lot.
Yeah.
Like I want you to help me understand that even better. You know, like how was your upbringing in the Motorala household? How was that? You know.
It was very interesting. I think subconsciously I became more vocal. I'm the last granddaughter on both sides of my parents' families. So
how many siblings do you have siblings?
I have an older brother, 2 older sisters.
For sure.
Yeah. My 2 older sisters are genetically cousins, but raised within the family. So they've always been my shoulders like that.
And I know that.
That feeling. I get.
And I know that kind of setup. Yeah.
So
sure.
Ramogolo is my.
Oh, for sure.
Our dads are brothers like that. So,
for sure.
Growing up as the last one, I think what gave me vocal confidence and guidance, the different characters. And I realized that maybe what made me a loud child growing up was exactly that.
Yeah.
That we're in a family where there's all these other kids. They're all my older cousins. They're all more vocal than me, more active than me, more vibrant than me. So it was going to be one of 2 things. Either you shy away because or you're like, hey, it's loud. If I don't speak up, nobody's going to hear.
For sure.
And that's kind of what my dad raised me on, to be like, if you don't understand the question in class, you better ask.
For sure.
I'm not paying for you to bring back confusion, child. You hear me? So if they are saying something you don't understand, you ask.
Yeah.
If you don't get the answer you expect, and also and that thing for sure. You're gonna end up most open block 8 route 2, block 3 route 2. Brothers route 2, block 8 route 2, not the same thing. You're gonna be on 2 separate sides of the city.
For sure.
So that thing and to be active and present and participate. Participation in sports, participation in group class tasks, activities, different clubs. There's so much to learn in team sports. There's so much to learn. I did a lot of swimming growing up. I enjoyed swimming, even though I swam with the team. I took swimming more as a personal thing because and that is your time to push the best out of yourself.
Sure.
Where the difference between swimming as a single sport and something like rugby or netball or softball
Or whatever,
is that there's an objective. It's not always about you being the striker. It's always about the bigger goal. And those are the little things. I don't know. I enjoyed my upbringing. I had a very active childhood, participating, school plays, choirs, and church choirs, and all those other things. So, I guess.
And like, did you grow up around the city? Like, did you grow up in Gaps? Like you said something about going to school in SA.
In SA, I went post-tertiary. That was after I dropped out of us. But growing up, I grew up in So was a small mining town about 2 hours from ghetto. Yes, about 2 hours from ghetto. So it was a small flamingo school. Yeah, it's a mining town. So a lot of early morning sports, a lot of activity, quiet, calm place. My mom was here working in Parliament. So growing up, it was school and then...
Oh, your mom was working in Parliament?
My mom, yeah, she was working in gas. So growing up in between two separate cities, two separate locations, I'd say. So it's a small town. It's north of the country. Saidia Bukalaka, to be precise. That area is totally different from Hutule climate in the south. But those are things that you only become aware of. You just know. At a trade fair, my sister used to love taking me to the trade fair. I never missed it.
Trade fair,
Consumer fair, rolling candy floss, swings, rides. So I grew up with a very well balanced mentality. I would like to believe, because the holiday. Some people have been in Swa all throughout the holidays. But you know those little things where the people are kind of just mocking you for enjoying your holiday.
Like
as
enjoying
a child.
life, basically.
Yeah, I'm like, hey. Okay. So our exposure is not the same. That thing also, I think, besides the school trips that we frequented annually, the traveling every 3 months in between school terms on the A1 throughout those years, it opened my heart to traveling. I don't mind. I see tripping like hey, on the A1, because I'm that familiar with that location where you just I'm that familiar with that space. So I think that's something that I appreciate. Because now when I shifted schools from after Form 2 checkpoint to senior high school in Gabs, I came to realize that some people have never been to not even for like cultural weekend, not even for a school trip, not for nothing.
And where were you schooling?
I went to school in Alnur.
Alnur.
Yeah, Alnur in Block 8. So that thing, it just...
So it's like evidently it's niggas that have never been, you know what I'm saying, only overseas.
And then I didn't know that. I didn't know what do you experience? You think everybody else is experiencing the same thing. So now they're packing a bag and going somewhere. Put on a uniform. But everybody, and I don't know. I think I going up 2 sides of the country and making that adjustment, senior high school, getting here, seeing different people and influences, and seeing the city influences, and it because it wasn't a culture shock.
With the city influences by that time?
What is city influences? I would say maybe like what were the social.
I'm using your terms because I use the term city influences. So I'm trying to understand.
Oh, city influences. I mean, like okay, Muzwan. And so it's a quiet, small place. You can walk. Walk from one side to the other, and it's fine. But in Gabs, whenever you are married, for the lunch money, ebe go nna le ba rich kid le gore ke ene madi a gago kwa na re ka nne botele manyana madi a gago kwa na a depositang Muzwan, those kind of things. So because I had been me in Esland, for the fact that I was born in Gad and started school elsewhere, coming back frequently, it wasn't. I had bigger dreams than Gad. I didn't even want to go to tertiary in UB. You get what I mean? Yeah. So for me, Gabs was not, it was not the final haven. I wasn't like wooed and wowed out about it, but I could tell the difference for yikes. Drinking at the park and so on, and like swinging and just having fun. Like that is not, it's a different type of party out here. If you know, you know. So if you don't, then yeah, man. Yeah, so yeah, I think it opened my eyes to just
You talked about dropping out of tertiary. How was that? Like, what did you study and why did you drop out?
I dropped out primarily because I felt, well, besides the actual results, which speak, that I did on purpose. You know, you put in effort. So, like, you asked me off air before we started shooting, and somebody asked me, and I said, I was a very passionate academic growing up. But towards tertiary, I got mad about the fact that I didn't want to go to UB. So, those 8 A stars, I don't know who in government is making these policies, if their kids are getting 8 A stars, but I didn't make the cut, so whatever dreams I had of going overseas were obviously not realized. And for the most part, yeah, it sucks. And I was just like, no, not for it. It literally drives you crazy. You know, some guy actually just jumped off the building this past. Got a depression. And I wish I had insisted on either doing Form 6 or insisted on taking a gap year, because or miss out on opportunities. But I think there are people who might agree to the testament that versus the things, the negative things you're exposed to there that shape the rest of your life and your perspective and your confidence and your approach to life. Like that one bad semester can traumatize you so bad, you lose confidence in a lot of things. So I was just like, I don't think. Mental health, my nigga. Especially when you've grown up being that vibrant, loud, outgoing person. The moment you are out of sync, everybody can tell. And it's not a healthy space to be in to pretend to be okay, but it's also not a healthy space to be in to just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm not okay, it's fine. Do something about it. So God bless them. God bless me. Okay, guys, and like,
what was the first thing you actually pursued after dropping out?
The first thing I pursued was modeling. And at the time, I knew a couple of friends who were living in SA, and one of them were kind enough to say, no, come through, crash at my place for about 2 weeks, a month nyana, re tla go batela the auditions. Usually in Rosebank, there are casting agencies that run auditions for different companies every day, all day. Like as we speak, they probably have 3 different rooms with 3 different auditions going on, and it's just the 9 to 5 the whole day through. So I spent most of the first few months just running around different casting agencies, fitting into opportunities, seeing opportunities. I want, obviously I would have loved to be the next Gaone career. You leave home with ambition, with a dream that frightens you, but opportunity, and some things you just observe to learn, to take home, to open your eyes, to see what the world is like, to see what is out there. So yeah, I did a lot of that up and down movement auditioning. Then I managed to get a job. I was working at a nightclub. That was lots of tips, lots of fun, lots of tequilas. And yeah, that was a fun experience. And then the following year, I went to work.
Which year was this?
That was 2013. No, that. I think in 2013, but I don't think it's so much for Remember, that was when Instagram was still starting up. So the whole digital era had not come to full HD like that. So what was happening in SA in terms of the Bless Alive or that whole nightlife, whatever that was happening, it was always there.
But
I guess there was nobody to Instagram it or life waiting. So but and I obviously was just like,
you don't want to be part of it.
You're here to learn.
You don't want to be part of
it. Brandon and I was blessed to have friends, company. You pray for where you're going, you pray for what you're doing. As much as you might not fully know, pray for God to give you angels where you're going. I went to SA knowing next to no one. The friends I knew are not going to pay medical aid for me or whatever, but everything will work out.
And
I came back in one piece the day I decided to come back, but everything I learned in between, it gave me wisdom, it gave me light, it gave me courage. Let's do it. Because South Africa, was a means of survival. Breadwinner 16. I was never a breadwinner. So I can't be doing certain things when I don't know the circumstances that are driving them to do the things they're doing. I remember one friend of mine, he said to me, Shishi, don't forget you're from a diamond country, right? So technically amongst us, you're the diamond baby. You're the one who you have diamonds even in your passport. Can see them.
Literally.
You can literally see that diamond reflect in your passport. So see don't confuse the hunger in the city with what you are here to do. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You're here to learn. I have the liberty to go home when I want to. Some people are in Joburg and that's the only soil they'll ever know. They can't go back to Durban. I'm looking for opportunity in Joburg, but even before, Malatia Mahe, like after 2 weeks and back, you know what? I want to go home and I go home.
And like how long did you stay over there?
I was in and out for a few years. The following year when I started working at the record label, unfortunately I lost my dad that year, so that was a huge shape shifter for my world. It really rocked my gravity.
May so rest in peace.
Yeah. Dope guy. Dope guy.
And I shout out to him.
Dope guy. So Raise the Soldier, that was fun for me. I think after that, SA was just a whole bombshell of experiences. It needs another conversation on its own.
But for sure.
What I did learn is the ultimate thing. I'm sure you've read it somewhere on Twitter. There are memes that will literally tell you one thing you want to do yourself as a favor in your 20s, leave your home city. Go and experience life out there somewhere else. O ithute go converse le batho. O ithute go amogela gore not everyone thinks the way you think, and not the way you think is not even the best way to think. A gongwe o ipoka ka mentality e leng gore o thabisa ditong ko nteko. So that it's humbling, but thank you a teachable spirit.
It's a teachable spirit.
Because if you don't have a teachable spirit, even in small situations when people are trying to correct you, you become stubborn. You become an irritable friend who because I will correct you.
Yeah, for sure. And as far as music, I listen to your music. I listen to your music, dog, and it's pretty solid.
Yeah,
pretty solid.
In terms of, I want to hear this critique.
Like this, like the singing.
Oh, the singing. Oh,
like you can actually sing.
Oh, thank you.
Like you can actually sing. But also, honest opinion. I feel like back then you could have found like a better engineer.
Yeah,
like you could have found a better engineer, and then would have like maybe put like the music on like a better pedestal.
Yeah.
But like other than that, like it sounded super dope.
I get it.
And also for you to actually start pursuing the music, do you pursue the music before the modeling, or it's just something that you did while doing like other things? Like you're like, okay,
now this is
what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna designate this time to music and only that.
Yeah. So how the music thing started was, like I said, the first year as an essay, I was working at I was working multiple jobs.
Sure.
Yo, Mike and Bean. I was selling crystals at some mall store in Krista, and then doing the whole nightclub gig at night. So 3 jobs throughout the weeks, and then the following year, like I say, I worked at a record label.
Sure.
So that record label was a sister company to TS Sports. QT Sports, I think TS Sports or QT Sports. They used to manage Joel Mogoro, not Joel Mogoro, it's Khatei. I forget that guy.
He's a local footballer.
No, he's an SA guy. Like I can see it, but he played for Orlando Pirates. So the team was the agency was a sister company to the record label that I was working at. He manages sports players and musicians. That's the business model that he was working around.
Okay.
So at the time they had just signed on a new artist and she needed help writing. So that's when I started writing. And I wouldn't say that was the first time I was writing, but it was the first time I was writing in a professional setup. Sort of somebody's gonna sing what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, okay, so I actually had a gift, sort of, kind of.
Right, yeah.
Then during that phase when my dad had passed, I went to go see some friends, but and they were on lunch by Pula Power. So that's how the Pula Power opportunity came about, and that's when the whole presenting talent manifested. One of the days, I am waiting for the camera guys to come back from another set. The Links In studio. I am walking up and down. I'm going to the other end, to the bathroom. On your way back, the audio room, where the sound engineer does all of editing for the film production. So he was playing music, and he said to me, "Come in and sing." I have this beat.
For sure.
Yona, let's ride. So he did that. That was produced by Just Beats, and that was the first time I actually just
sounds like
sang.
some mild sex music. Sure. But
that was the first time that I actually recorded my own song, and I'm like, okay, so I can actually sing like. So I'm not crazy. I thought I could sing in my head, but when I do it out loud, it's
okay.
So I can. Yeah, because I think the exposure of working within a record label is maybe what has made me reluctant to dive fully into music, because I know the details, the harsh realities of it, the investment, the financial muscle that it needs, the strength and the strength and the loyalty that is needed from the team members as well.
Sure.
Because being a Virgo in my own nature as I am a perfectionist. I want the final touch to have that thing that says I was there, honey. I don't want mediocre. I don't want to be associated with failure.
At all.
No shady thing in my space. So that thing has made me obsessed time and time again of like, what sort of music am I making? What type of brand do I want to be? How am I going to approach it? The pricing, the photo shoots, the details to everything. It has to all make sense. So beyond just being a perfectionist, the reality is that music needs money.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Bottom line, if you are somebody who you will have examples that you can pick out and see what this person went into music once they could afford it. There are other people who their talents were not
good enough.
Not necessarily good. The talent at the forefront was not always music. Into music. But what do? You market yourself such that your talent is there and you are networkable in that space, but still collecting the necessities to drive the music brand. Because music is heavy. You're talking like a full team can consist of about 30 people. Home and away team. Like your manager on the road, off the road. You can have regional managers when you're as big as when your brand is the global brand. Like Bobana Matebe, you can find an agent in the States that is dealing with her publicity in the States.
In the States,
Why? Because that publicist is networked in the States.
In the States.
The best publicists will do in South Africa, but they can't do what the one in the States can. So do it for you to look like $1 million all the time. It's money.
Branding.
It's branding. It's creating opportunities also needs money. Even if I said I wanted to create my own show, it's still money. The same way we saw concert in So
which concert are you talking about, by the way?
ATX. Yeah.
Okay.
So my point goes to music I'm still trying to gather my funds. I'm still trying to gather my funds, and that is the reality right now. For most of us, if we had the funds we wanted, we wouldn't have the problems that we had. So yeah.
Speaking of which, there's this whole, I don't know if I should call it narrative. I'm asking this out of curiosity and out of just trying to like get a perspective from like a person like your kind. There's this whole narrative or make it a real story in industries. You have to sleep with certain people to advance in certain parts of your career. Like, is this something that actually happened to you? If it did happen to you, how did you go about it?
Do you know that that thing is not even happening only in the music industry? It's happening even in the churches. It's happening deciding construction. It's happening So there's always going to be somebody who's sick and twisted enough to bring an agenda like that and imply it as a platform for opportunity, for growth. I'm a good presenter. I know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
It's never going to be a topic when we are talking about entertainment. Music. So,
and nothing more, nothing less.
In my own personal life, I am I'm not blind to appreciating a handsome man, but I gore ke a go eletsa ka gore ke bona gore o bopegile sentle wa ntelo ga ga jore ke eletsa mongwe le mongwe hela because you are a male and you are balling like you know and you can be polite and it doesn't mean I want you so you can imagine ha ke taka agenda ra gore ke batla go godisa brand ke re music motho ba taka tlhaloganyo e ke tsile go mmotsa dipotso tse ta reng a tsaya ba le tsa mogala.
So like
it's just out of question for me. I can obviously maybe say I've avoided those situations by just reinforcing my stand the same way I'm doing with you right now. I can see your agenda, but I'm not here for that. Studio with an extra friend because now when you try and flirt with me, I'm not going to bring my friend to studio. My friend is not a singer. That's a studio. Because I don't like that idea. Negative agenda. Why? Because I don't do that to people.
Sure.
So how come ponsa go rona le mmoa go batla go ntirela bo here ta bona go re wela kae
go motlat
o ta nna ha ba tsela ba iphara ka mekgaga so yeah I think in terms of that and to anybody else I would want to believe it's your choice it's your choice it's your stand. I would rather go back. And maybe that's part of the reason why my music has grown so slow. I've never actually been in a relationship with a producer who was working on my EP. Like I'm always just in between different studios trying to get collaborations set up. When now eventually you ask me for something and eventually you don't get it. I'll keep starting again.
Wow.
The music is in my voice. It's not in your beats at your house, in your band. It's in my voice.
Basically, fuck off.
Very much.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. What you studied in Varsity? What did you study? I think it went over your head for a minute.
I started a bachelor's in a double major in psychology and economics.
For sure.
Bachelor.
And how do you think you've used what you've learned there in like the real world, in like the hustle, basically?
I use what I've learned every day. I think I use what I've learned every day in terms of being a social entrepreneur the way I am and my care for outreach and that whole youth mentorship motivation thing, the establishing fashion as a business, networking and finding opportunities for my brand in terms of emceeing and making music. Those are it's a lot of interacting and it takes a lot of interpersonal skill, interpersonal energy. You have to have the energy and you have to be able to read energies as well. So I don't just walk into a room, I've prayed for rooms of opportunity and go bombarding on doors. It's the wrong time to address your request. Those kind of things are things they never grow old and you will always have to apply. You will always have to read the room. You will always have to mind your manners and be careful with what you're saying is not offending the next person. You're not triggering them. You're not maybe cracking an insensitive joke that's poking at someone's weakness. I'd like to believe I'm applying it.
Drop us like a fun fact on psychology. Just a fun fact. Like something you don't think we know about psychology and like reading body languages or whatever. Like that has to do with psychology.
Most of the time when people are behaving in a manner that seems odd or like a bit There's usually an insecurity there. There's usually an insecurity there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I remember ke khaleme bana ba bangwe ko class ke feel gore ngwana ke a mo khalemela batho ga ba te gore ka ro bata go khalemela ka digo ka go thabisiwa dithomo o bona gore ke o ipotsa gore I would say to him ke kopa gore nne ha batsi because I'm in the middle of it. And the more they continue, I'd end up having to say, "Kana hamutasa you attention ko lapeng. We bata mo classing." Yeah, it's not the time ya go bata attention.
That's a jam. That's a jam.
I can teacher I kill mo classing. I command the attention.
For sure.
Yeah, so if you're not getting attention at home, you don't look for it during class time. People are here to learn in class time. Yeah, attention we bata go sile. Yeah, o ska bata go senyetsa batho ba ileng gore ba thahaletse opportunity ya go ithuta.
All right. And like
so
to wrap it up. The
fun fact
for
part.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Some things when we see people behave certain ways, there's an insecurity there, guys.
And like to wrap it up, man. You talked about like your guidance and counseling.
Yeah.
Getting aspect of your life.
Yeah.
And where did you become a guidance and counseling teacher? In Musala Pula.
Yeah, I started that. That was just an initiative as a social entrepreneur. What I had experienced in terms of exposure in South Africa, like I was saying, seeing myself as one Musana ke surround the environment in South Africa, seeing the different levels of hunger and desperation that people are living in, and the extremes that people are going to for survival. When I came back to Botswana, this really Botswana. We follow what trends in SA. Whether it's good or bad, we follow what trends in SA.
Sure.
And follow what trend ignorantly is a very dangerous thing to do. Because make sense. If we're going to say that people have blessers in SA to fund their education, why do we have blessers in Botswana? So that thing, it really made me want to help Banana to set themselves apart. Understand who you are. In your family, in your community, in your
impact.
Like have a sense of yourself, which will give you purpose, which will give you direction.
On like a lighter note.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, no Rutabanaba school.
Yeah.
15, 16.
13.
13, right? 13,
Yeah,
13.
yeah.
Maybe like the eldest could be probably, what, 16, 17?
Yeah, 16, 17, maybe oldest, yeah.
And obviously, the Bobo, like a teacher, a teacher who how did it, like, haven't you ever, like, come across a situation where, like, school, teacher, it's not mana, it's like,
I've never had that.
For real, like, you've never had that.
I've never had that. One, but two, how you see the art of dialogue, that skill that I learned in debate. I know how to direct and control a conversation.
For sure. Okay.
Formula
For sure. Okay.
I can't have boile tayo tesi school. I kiss your most ako koning huisaka.
I think I can hold.
How koni?
How koni? Orai. For sure. For sure.
Ori ke monzo re ke ngwana. Courage ya go batla go dira di seng ga courage. Ga tshwana go na le courage wa shota courage ko physics. Doesn't work.
Because I remember back in high school too, though, because like niggas that
Crushing on teachers.
Like crushing on teachers, like some of them could even go to the point of actually knocking on the teacher.
Wow.
Especially somebody as young as maybe 30, 32, 33.
At the time I was 26 and 7, I think.
Even worse. even worse stuff.
Man.
So like was literally just like spoiled niggas all around, so like they could talk either way. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, like I've been wanting to wrap this up for like the longest time. In you doing all of this, you know, pursuing ever since you started this journey of being a social entrepreneur, musician, a guidance, guidance counseling teacher, and all these diverse things that you've been pursuing.
Yeah.
What are the highlights of like everything that you know?
I think the highlight is meeting or interacting with two highlights. Interacting with influential people.
For sure.
Influential people goes beyond, your celebrities in the VIP section with bottles and hoorays, but also influential people in terms of corporate MCs, you are engaging with people who are shaping and influencing the economy that you're living in.
Of course.
How it's asking the patient, we govern a conversation. Tomorrow, those people can open doors for you.
Of course.
Even though I was just hired as an MC, so there's that highlight of the privilege to meet people of power and to engage in tables of influence, and then the impact of the little effort you make. Sometimes I remember that season of counseling, I was unemployed. That's why I decided to volunteer, so that I'm not sitting at home and just thinking about the unemployment.
It will drive you crazy.
It will drive you crazy.
Yeah.
And I felt like I'm better off at least sharing the little wisdom, the little knowledge, the little cheerful energy I have with kids who have innocent hearts and hungry minds and teachable souls. Right now, one of the kids, they're actually pursuing music as a career. And he's always been passionate about music, so I'm happy for him. I don't know if you know him, he's on TikTok, Papa Nokhab.
For real?
Yeah, he was a student of mine.
For real?
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
And like you must be super proud.
Yeah, I am.
For sure.
I am.
Dope.
I am very proud.
Lastly, man, what's the vision? Where are you going? Where are you going with everything else? And how can niggas contact you?
What's the vision?
Yeah. Where are we going?
What's the vision? I got 3 words that came into my mind. What's the vision? Purpose, passion, and prosperity. Yeah, those were the. What's the vision? Those are in that order. Purpose, passion, and prosperity. That's the vision, man. That's where we're going.
Just like in a nutshell.
In a nutshell. Wherever I'm feeling passion, I'll apply my plan. And whatever purpose is meant to be achieved, they will surely give us the prosperity we need. Yeah.
And for people that want to work with you, your photographers, like myself, your event organizers, your musicians, producers, where can we get a hold of you? Details, booking details, and so forth.
You can get my details, inbox me on Shishi Music Live. That's my page on Facebook.
Shishi Music Live.
Yeah, Shishi Music Live on Facebook. I am Shishi BW on Instagram. And I have a mobile number that is 75344-599. That's my business dial.
Business dial, not personal.
Yeah, no, that's my business dial for whatever endeavors that bring us together.
Like we should actually shoot.
Yeah, so I'm actually open to that. Anybody with voiceover opportunities, corporate gigs, your content creation, whether we're shooting skits, coming up with concepts for shows, voiceovers, fillers, short films,
and like
you name it.
portfolios for photographers and
You
models.
name
I've been
it.
trying to throw out a hint that I want to shoot with you, but you keep on missing. But it's whatever.
We can definitely do a shoot together. I'm always definitely eager on doing that. Man, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Eyes
so much
over Brendan, everybody.
Thank you so much. And this has been the Eyes of Brendan podcast. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Available. This episode is available on Spotify right now. Go listen to it if you don't have like the time to actually watch it. You know what I'm saying? And thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
You look lovely.
I'll sing for you guys next time. Today was about diversity.
Before you do any of that bullshit, don't forget to give thanks, get fish, praise the Lord, then finesse.